Hello, everybody. My name's Rick McCutcheon. I'm a Dynamics 365 MVP, and I'm here today with Andrew King from WebSan. Andrew, introduce yourself and tell us all about your company.
Great. Thanks so much for having me, Rick. My name's Andrew King, Managing Director here at WebSan Solutions, and we're a Gold Dynamics partner with offices in Toronto and the US as well. We really specialize in small to medium-sized businesses. So we try to go to market with packaged ERP and CRM solutions, really specializing in small businesses and trying to get them up and running as quickly as possible to take advantage of technology.
And, Andrew, I've been around the space, the dynamic space at Microsoft here in Canada for, since about the beginning of time, probably around 2005. And a few years ago, I saw your company starting to pop up because you were winning awards. Talk to us a little bit about at least your last award was a pretty big one. Let's hear about that.
Yeah, last award was pretty big. To be frank, we actually thought the email when we got it was spam because we really couldn't believe it. So we sort of played rock, paper, scissors to see who was going to open it. But yes, we won Global Partner of the Year for Dynamics 365 Business Central, as well as Inner Circle and Canadian Business Applications Partner of the Year. So it was sort of a trifecta this past year. And, really I guess our win was characterized really by the fact that we do go to market a little bit uniquely. There are a few partners around the world that go to market similar to us, but really, 100% of our lead generation is inbound. We have a YouTube channel now with over 1.6 million views, and we've just believed for about 12 years now, I think that YouTube channel has been up, just putting great content out there that helps the channel, helps other partners, and ultimately helps customers. And people find us. So we did, I think, north of 70 customer ads last year. We typically average between 60 and 80, so it was a good year. And won the award. We were surprised too, to be honest.
So for a partner your size, you're not 500, 1,000 people, right? To be able to do that many ads, why don't you just kind of talk a little bit about sort of your corporate journey, how you got involved with Dynamics, and then how you kind of figured out how to do this in more of a volume play.
So we started, my business partner, Neil Santon is his name, started the company in 2000. I joined in 2006, and we were really supply chain management focused. So we were basically supply chain consultants. I was serving in a client that then ironically had Great Plains at the time, and they weren't happy with their partner, and we Googled what Great Plains was and then decided to take a journey on ERP. I had about 9 years of SAP history, so knew our way around, and got into the Great Plains world in Toronto. And the first thing you realize back, this would have been 2007-ish, there were about 9 gold partners in the Toronto area. So there was no way we could compete. So instead, we actually started a hosting practice with Great Plains. And start off kind of small, but we started selling the cloud, if you will, back in 2008, 2009. And built up a pretty substantial Great Plains hosting business. We have a few on-prem customers as well, but our methodology about selling the cloud, selling remotely, selling over the phone, and being hyper efficient about it really has been refined over the past 14 years or so. So we then moved into Dynamics CRM, now called Dynamics 365, various flavors. And then Business Central, we got into Nav and then for a while and then got into Business Central. But the interesting part is our sales methodology really hasn't changed at all. We do that many customer ads with 2 full-time salespeople and 2 marketers. So we are hyper efficient at how we qualify, how we work our sales leads and prospects through our funnel, and we're highly automated with Dynamics 365 sales. So it's a pretty automated engine.
So what I find interesting is the way you've packaged everything, and I see more and more partners starting to move in this direction. Mm-hmm. So if someone comes to your site, they see package A, B, C, and D, which fits you the best. So why don't we talk a little bit about what made you start to package up these solutions?
Yeah, the original inception of it was really to disqualify prospects. We just found a lot of people spending a lot of time kicking tires, taking up our time. And so we said, you know what, we're answering the same questions over and over again. Let's just put it out there. And, we were very nervous because you're putting all your pricing out there. But it had a very interesting effect. Our lead volume dropped, but our ratio of pre-qualified leads went up dramatically. And we found we were spending a lot less time selling, eventually where sales, other than the very large deals, really just became sort of proposal writing and very little qualification because they were pre-qualifying. So then we kind of blew that up into everything Business Central, everything Dynamics, Office 365, migrations, Azure, et cetera. Everything's out there on our website, and people love it. They just love the transparency.
And you know what's nice about what you're doing? I think that the buyer of technology today is much more sophisticated than they were 20 years ago. So they're out there, they're doing all their research. And because you've got all this content on YouTube, you've got all this content in SEO, people are finding your content. And guess what? They can get all the way down the sales cycle and understand who you are and what you do and what this is going to cost them, right? And at that point, they're going to say, yeah, I want to talk to Andrew and his team, right? As opposed to, well, I can't quite tell you how much that's going to cost, right? That type of attitude, which they run into a lot with partners.
Oh, yeah. And the crazy part is about once a month, we will get someone who just comes to our website, buys Business Central, buys a package, and gives us their credit card. It's crazy. It's crazy. And so, we'll all message each other in marketing and sales. Like, did you talk to this person? Did you talk? Like, they're not in CRM. Who is this? Nope. Just came to our website and bought. And we've had deals close, in 15 minutes, and not small ones. We're talking $20,000, $30,000 deals where, to your point, they've completely pre-qualified themselves. They know exactly what they want. And we just get on the phone to talk to them.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you, Andrew, because Business Central I'm a dynamic CRM guy, and I've kind of watching goes on the ERP side from the outside. And, I saw, Great Plains sitting there. I saw Nav sitting there. I saw AX. So Microsoft at one point said, okay, the AX is going to be our on-premise finance and operations. And we're going to create this thing called Business Central. And it kind of morphed around for a couple of years. And then it caught fire. And what I'm seeing today, and we were both down at the Direction show in Florida, it is taking off big time. Why is this product so successful?
Well, I think it, like you mentioned, you've got more partners packaging offerings, right? So we're all trying to make it look simpler, even though it is, quite frankly, an ERP, like it's Nav, right? So it's a big beast in and of itself. But Microsoft is investing quite heavily in the customer journey and the end user journey, which is making it much more competitive with the likes of NetSuite. It's an easier environment to use, and it talks to a lot of different things. We find today we're not just selling Business Central. We'll frequently sell Sales Enterprise or Sales Pro and Office 365 or Microsoft 365. So we're literally selling the client everything as one throat to choke, with ERP traditionally being the anchor. But it's definitely gained traction. We started with Nav. We started with Nav hosted with Microsoft. We got into Business Edition, which quite frankly, I don't want to remember anymore. And then Business Central, like you said. And it's just Microsoft is making a big, big investment in the product. Plus, keep in mind, they're changing all the partner compensation plans away from on-prem, right? So they're somewhat forcing us to go to the cloud. Now, like I said, we've kind of been here for a while, but there are a lot of on-prem partners who are being, quite frankly, forced to move to the cloud, whether they like it or not.
Well, that's the future, because it just, at the end of the day, it costs Microsoft a lot less money to support people in the cloud, and it keeps the customers there updated. So, they're always using the latest product. So, Andrew, what do you sort of see coming down the road for the Business Central market? Where do you think it's going to go next?
I see more and more prospective customers and existing customers asking us about artificial intelligence. Reporting, which used to be, fancy and shiny, is now table stakes. Mm-hmm. So if you can't deliver right out of the box amazing reporting, Power BI dashboards, you're going to be left behind. So definitely a push to automate more workflows, artificial intelligence, especially. We specialize in distribution as one of our verticals, and you're talking about forecasting, demand planning. It's getting exciting, actually, with as Microsoft makes more investment in Power Automate and Power Apps. There's some interesting capabilities being unlocked that now clients are looking for. They're looking for that simplistic end user journey. ERP traditionally was a transaction engine that that you then attach some reporting to. Now it's much more than that. It's providing deep insights and direction to executives, even at the front lines. So it's very neat.
Well, I think, sir, you're in the right place at the right time. And, maybe we'll see you as Global Partner of the Year again as you keep adding these Business Central installs.
We will see, my friend. We will see.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
All right, Andrew, thanks for your time. And we'll be checking in again about what's going on at WebSan.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Bye for now.